Sir, we have reached the last leg of the process of the Union Budget 2022-23, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on the Finance Bill. Sir, there's a perceptible change in the global economic scenario since the presentation of the budget due to the Russia-Ukraine armed conflict, and India cannot insulate itself from these developments, and hence we have to relook at the budget proposals, recalibrate our forecasts, and the House won't get a better opportunity than the Finance Bill to discuss these, sir. Sir, before I start making my submissions, I would like to compliment the Honourable Finance Minister and the Honourable Minister of Commerce and Industry and the government for showing outstanding performance and growth in our exports in this financial year. Sir, we have touched for the first time ever exports worth $400 billion in this financial year when compared with $292 billion in the previous year. So I take this opportunity to compliment the government for this achievement, sir. In view of the paucity of time, let me start with the issues related to my state, sir. Sir, my first point is regarding the capital city of Amaravati, which falls in my parliamentary constituency. Nobody can dispute that it is the prerogative of the Assembly to make laws, but at the same time, it is not just the Assembly, but not even the Parliament cannot make laws which violate the Constitution, sir, because the Constitution is supreme and not the legislature. So since the Honourable High Court has also made it clear that Amaravati will remain the capital of AP, I urge the Honourable Prime Minister, who committed to the farmers of Amaravati and to the people of AP the central government's support to develop Amaravati as a world-class city, to bring amendment to the AP Reorganization Act and to insert a provision indicating that Amaravati is and will remain the only capital of Andhra Pradesh. The next point, that I am greatly disappointed that the Honourable Finance Minister has not allocated much for the development of Amaravati, sir. I understand that only a few lakhs have been given by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry. Sir, it is pertinent to mention here that the High Court of AP has directed the Government of AP to construct and develop Amaravati capital city and the capital region as per the approved master plan, and within 6 months as agreed under the AP CRDA Act. Since the Government of AP's coffers have become empty and it is not in a position to take up any work, I urge you for allotting sufficient funds to restart the development of the new capital, Amaravati, sir. Sir, the Finance Minister is aware of agitation going on at RINL, Vizag Steel Plant, since the announcement of privatization of this plant. There was a question in this very House on Monday on RINL, and my friend Mr. Ram Mohan Naidu has raised it. We are not happy with the reply given by the Steel Minister. Sir, the Honourable Steel Minister says that RINL was incurring losses. But, sir, he should understand that RINL was incurring losses due to the loan it has taken for restructuring and to purchase ore. Had iron ore mine been allocated, RINL would not have restored to 22,000 crores loan at 14% interest and incur losses, sir. On the other hand, the Minister is saying that SAIL is earning profits. It is earning profits because it has 10 mines, sir, whereas you have not given a single mine to RINL. You give mines to Vizag Steel Plant and see how it will surpass SAIL, sir. So don't privatize it. Instead, allocate mines and see how the hardworking workers of RINL will bring profits. So I once again appeal to you to kindly allot mines to it and don't privatize. As an alternative, you can convert its debt into equity. Sir, the next point is regarding Polavaram. The revised cost estimates were approved by the Government of India itself and put it at 55,656 crores. This is now before the Finance Ministry. So I request the Finance Minister to please approve this so that the progress of the work is not hindered and R&R can be taken up at the earliest. Sir, on the issue of resource gap, there is a difference of opinion between the Government of AP and the Government of India. I understand that a team of officials from Government of AP have met officials of Government of India last month and discussed various issues, and this issue was also one among them. The Government of India has given 4,117 crores out of 22,948 crores put forward by the Government of AP, sir. Sir, even if you look at the CAG report, the audit, it approved 16,078 crores as a resource gap. So I request to please kindly thrash it out and pay this amount to Andhra Pradesh, sir. Sir, now coming to the national issues. The Economic Survey projects the GDP growth for 22-23 at between 8 to 8.5%. Recently, the RBI has projected 7.8% growth. But the reverberations of war, geopolitical scenario around the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and looking at the US and NATO's deployment of jets and nearly 30,000 troops in Norway and carrying out war exercises, I feel it further will tilt the balance of risks downwards, sir. It is a tough scenario for a country like India. So I would just like to know whether any fresh assessment has been made about the growth in the light of the latest developments by the Finance Ministry may kindly be explained when the Finance Minister responds. Will there be any change in the forecast to GDP growth this year due to war and other geopolitical risks that we are facing? Sir, as I said in the beginning, we have achieved record exports of $400 billion in the current fiscal. But in spite of this, if you look at the trade deficit, it also shot up to $21.2 billion in February and is expected to go much beyond this month. Sir, also the current account deficit could be around 2.6 or 2.7% of GDP compared to this year's 1.7% and is much higher than the average CAD of 1.1% between 14 and 21. The Honourable Finance Minister is very well aware that if there's a 10% rise in crude prices, the CAD would widen by nearly 30 basis points, and the Ministry has assumed average crude price of $75 at the time of presenting the budget. But now, if we look at the current price, it's well beyond that. So some calibration needs to be made, even on this account, sir. The next point is about inflation. Sir, inflation is hovering around 6%. The US is seeing nearly 8%, which is the highest that country has seen in more than 40 years. I hope our inflation is manageable. Sir, if crude prices go up beyond $100 and stay for a reasonable period of time, which appears to be possible by the way the US and NATO are growing, I agree that it's a tightrope walk looking at India importing 85% of its oil and 50% of its gas requirements. Sir, 2 more minutes and I'll conclude, sir.
No.
And we are already feeling the pinch of inflation
1 minute.
with rising prices of essential commodities, more particularly after the increase of price of petrol, diesel and cooking gas. Sir, regarding our investment from our oil PSUs, I'm just quick points on to make it, sir, such as IOC, OVL, etc. in Russia, which is to the tune of, I think, about $16 billion. Our companies have invested in Rosneft, Sakhalin, Vostok, Vankorneft, etc. Shell, Exxon Mobil and Equinor are exiting from Russia, and British Petroleum has already announced its exit from Russia. So what would be the fate of our investments in Russia may kindly be explained. Sir, I'm skipping to the conclusion, sir. Sir, drivers of Gati Shakti include railways, airports, ports, mass transport, waterways and logistics infrastructure. Due to time constraints, I'll just touch on a couple of points, sir. Sir, Gati Shakti is highlighting the importance and need for a quality multimodal transport, since the cost of average logistics and transportation in India is around 14% when compared to the global average of around 7 to 8%. I hope that the Gati Shakti will help in achieving overall cost competitiveness. Sir, the FM has set a target of 25,000 kilometers of national highways for 22-23. I was just going through the construction of national highways during the last few years and found that the maximum per day construction is around 37 kilometers per day in 2021. And if you calculate, it comes to 13,500 kilometers per year. Now you've set a target of almost to double that best achievement that we've had till date. To achieve this, we have to construct 68 kilometers a day, which does not appear to be a realistic figure. I request the Finance Minister to explain how we would achieve this. Sir, the Finance Minister also proposed 400 new Vande Bharat trains in the coming 3 years. Now we have just 2 trains, and each train is around 100 crores as per the estimates of railways. It means for 400 trains we need 40,000 crores in 3 years. And more than that, do we have the capacity to build 400 trains in 3 years also needs to be assessed.
Yeah.
And you're also proposing 100 cargo terminals, waterways, airports, etc. I have given just 3 examples, sir. I have figures for all other drivers, and I only conclude by saying that the targets are too ambitious and not realistic. Let us have realistic, practical, and achievable targets rather than giving a rosy picture like disinvestment and being disappointed at the end of the day. So I'll go to the final conclusion, sir, which is, sir, war is terrible, sir, and I pray for a quick and sustainable peace in Ukraine. And India has taken a neutral position But there are certain impacts and outcomes that we must make note of. One is, for example, is the wheat exports. Russia is the second largest and Ukraine is the fourth largest exporter of wheat. With conflict, no wheat is coming out of these countries, and the price of wheat in the international market has also gone up to more than 2,600 rupees per quintal from 2,000 just before the conflict started.
Please.
So the MSP it's much higher than the existing MSP also, and this will help our farmers and traders. The second one is for mustard growers. The price is hovering around 6,600 per quintal, which is much higher than the MSP of 5,000. Third, we also have the advantage of exporting cotton, sir, since we are the leading cotton producers in the world.
Please conclude.
Finally, sir, Russia has offered crude at a discounted price to India, sir. What is the status and volume of this offer? Whether FM has given a go-ahead to get oil from Russia at the discounted price? If so, naturally it has to be insured. And if so, what would be the cost of insurance and how much cheaper would we get it? Can be clarified, sir. Sir, with these submissions, I wish to make and hope that we will get escape from the impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict and expect to reach the goals set while presenting the union budget during the next fiscal year.
వార్తావాణి న్యూస్ ఛానల్ ఎప్పటికప్పుడు రాజకీయ, సినీ విశేషాలు, స్పోర్ట్స్ మరియు సాంకేతిక పరమైన మరెన్నో విషయాలను మన ముందుకు తెస్తుంది. మరింత సమాచారం కొరకు వార్తావాణి న్యూస్ ఛానల్ ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి.